Rydall here, and I'm really excited to talk to you today about what I think is one of the most critical pieces for transformation and progress. I think it was one of the most important shifts that I made in my life. Really, when I trace back, one of the highest leverage changes I made. The strange power of focus. I don't mean focus necessarily or specifically in terms of you're trying to write something or create something and you need to stay focused. That's great. That's important. I'm talking about focus as a general habit or as a general principle. And that is that life only knows what you're focused on. Life only knows what you're looking at. It doesn't know what you want or don't want. Now this is really important because we're praying to God or life, I don't want this anymore, or we're doing affirmations or visualizations, or we're thinking a lot about what we don't want. I don't want this to happen, I do want this to happen, I don't want that to happen, I do want that to happen. I don't want to be broke, I want to be rich. That is like having one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake, because life doesn't know what you want or don't want. It only knows where your attention is. Please understand this, because life is singular. Life is indivisible. Life is one. There's one life, one power, one presence, one creative, omni-active force. It doesn't have a split mind. It's not like, I want this, I don't want that, I want some of this, I don't want that. Because whatever is in life or in God or in consciousness, it's eternal. And so it only knows its own perfection. It only knows abundance. This infinite abundance is unfolding uniquely as each and every one of us individually. But it does not care what you want or don't want. It only wants to express based on your focus, on your attention. So if you're focused, if, for example, you're doing affirmations or thinking, I don't want to be broke, I'm not broke, I'm not broke, I'm not broke. What life hears is broke. Life only knows the object of your attention, or I'm no longer fat, I'm no longer fat, or I'm not alone anymore, I'm not alone anymore. You are literally allowing all the energy to flow towards fat, broke, and alone, okay? You're like, oh, now that explains my life, why I'm fat, broke, and alone, or sick, broken, alone. That's why affirmations came to be, because it was about putting your focus only on what you want. And by the way, the core principle is energy flows where attention goes. Energy flows where attention goes. That's it. That you could sum up the whole nature of creation on that. It's the observer effect in quantum physics, where based on the expectation, that tends to change the outcome. Wherever attention goes, energy flows, okay? It doesn't know what you don't want. It only knows what you're focused on. In fact, there's an analogy to race car driving. When race car drivers are learning to drive, they have cars that are designed specifically to spin out, and they train in how to get out of a spin. And there's an interesting paradox or counterintuitive thing that happens. When they're spinning towards a wall, everything in the human being wants to look at the wall, believing if I look at the wall, which is the problem, I will avoid it somehow. But because the hands follow the eyes, you hit the wall, right? And so, but it makes sense, right? Like, I gotta keep my eye on the ball, keep my eye on the wall, keep my eye on the problem, so it doesn't get me, and you hit it. And so what you have to be trained as a race car driver is actually to go against your human intuition and look away from the wall. Look away from the problem. Look away from what you don't want and put all of your focus on what you do want. The track, the finish line. Where do I want to go? I want to go onto the track. I want to go forward. I want to go to the finish line. Not where do I not want to go? I don't want to go into that wall. But everything in us, from an old, ancient mechanism of survival, tends to focus on what's the problem, what's missing, what could go wrong. And that would allowed us to survive, but now it's preventing us from thriving. It's preventing our evolution. You don't want to look at the problem. When you look away from the wall and towards where you want to go, your hands will adjust. Now, there's a precarious moment during that, because even though you're looking away and your hands have adjusted, the car is still sliding with momentum towards the wall. And there's a precarious moment where you're like, it's not working, it's not working. Of course, it's happening in a split second. And you want to look back at the wall again, your hands turn, smack, you hit the wall. There's momentum. But if you have the courage of your convictions and commitment to where you want to go, eventually the wheels catch and the car realigns and is back on track. The same thing is true with your life. If you focus on what you don't want, you're going to get more of that, guaranteed. If you focus on the wall, you will hit it, guaranteed. If you focus on what you do want and you have the courage and the commitment to stay focused, you know what I say? It's like wait for it, steady, steady. Eventually you course correct. Eventually the energy, which has all this momentum going towards what you don't want. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be fat. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to break down. I don't want to lose. I don't want to be rejected. And one by one you go, but what do I want? And then you have the commitment, the vision, and a practice to keep focusing on what you want. Eventually the energy starts to shift. But there is this precarious space where it will feel like you're doing everything right and nothing is happening. You're doing everything right and it still is moving in the direction of wrong. That is a period. Don't be fooled by it. The principle is energy goes where attention flows. And if you just stay the course, stay your eyes on the prize, that is the only way you will eventually have it. Now, one quick caveat. Just because you put all your attention on the track doesn't mean you'll never hit the wall, okay? It doesn't mean you'll always get what you want or get it in the time frame that you want it. And so you'll hit the wall sometimes. Things will go wrong. Things will go terribly wrong. Don't let that stop you or make you doubt this principle, okay? Sometimes the oil slick is just too much and sometimes the momentum is just too hard and you're gonna hit. You're gonna fall. Something's gonna fail. You pick yourself back up, you put your car back together again, you get back on the track and you do it again. And eventually that becomes a habit and eventually your successes way outweigh your failures. Eventually you hit the wall less and less and less. Focus, the magic and strange power of focus, where you put your attention is where your life will go. So I invite you today to notice, where are you putting your attention on what you don't want? It's okay for a moment so that you know what you don't want, but the only value of knowing what you don't want is so you can discover what you do want. So make a list of all the things that you find you're focusing on that you don't want and turn those into the things you do want. And then make a plan and have a practice to begin turning your attention there, to begin thinking and feeling and walking and talking and driving in the direction of what you do. And then make it a plan. And then share with me how it goes. This is a commitment. This is a project where you put your attention. Where attention goes, energy flows. So put it on what you want. Until next time, live authentically, love unconditionally, and follow your destiny.